Hey guys, welcome back to another Work for Game podcast. This time we are doing a spoiler cast of the Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie. So I have my good buddies Somber and uh Carrie Moogle with me. Carrie Moogle, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. It's excellent being on another cast with you and Zomber, and looking forward to it. Let's talk about some Mario.
That's right, that's right. And you know him and you love him. I also have Somber with me. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well. How about you two guys?
Doing awesome, especially since we can finally get together and talk about this movie. So, just to
Yeah.
kind of give you guys an overview of what's going to be taking place, we're going to talk about our impressions of the story, the characters, the big lore reveal, and even the post-credit scenes. So, everything is going to be flushed out right here. So, hold on to your seats because you're in for one heck of a ride. So, why don't we go ahead and get this out of the way first? So, our general impressions of the story. So, Mario Galaxy, that this was one that I did not expect to come out so soon. I thought we would get like maybe a Super Mario World first or, something along that lines. But, it was teased in the last movie about Princess Peach where she was talking with Mario, talking about how there's lots of, galaxies that's out there. So it was a really nice treat that they were actually able to implement this. And I thought overall they did it pretty well. It was a very, simple story. This isn't some like deep soap opera story where it's going to have like a roller coaster of emotional tidings and drama and anything like that. This to me, I felt as though this was basically a fun roller coaster ride. When it comes, especially with like the previous Mario movie, it just felt like a video game experience brought to life in film. So, we got a chance to see some new faces, such as like Rosalina, Bowser Jr., Yoshi, and another character we're going to mention later on during this cast. But overall, Rosalina, she gets captured by Bowser Jr. and Mario and his team, they are on a quest to go and find her. And a lot of things kind of happened along the way that I thought were really well done as far as like some of the comedies, the interactions, different things like that. So overall, I felt as though the story, although it was a very simple plot device that they had, it was a very fun and memorable experience overall. I thought, going into this movie, I didn't think that I was gonna cry and gonna be like, this deeply emotional, attached to some crazy drama that was gonna take place. None of that. It was just, I was just there just to kind of have like a vibe, pretty much. And so, overall, I thought they did really well. This movie was Easter egg heavy. It sure was, and that's something that we're actually going to touch on a little bit later. So, that's pretty much my thoughts for the general impressions of the story. Somber, how about for you?
I am mostly in agreement with everything you said. The story itself, well, let me start by saying I absolutely love the movie, first of all. Second of all, the story, it's what you would expect for an animated movie. You know, it's better. It's better story wise than every other animated movie, but it was never meant to be a deep, engrossing story. Like it's not a full on. The movie was an hour and a half. You generally speaking, you don't get much story out of an hour and a half movie because that's just how it is. And then it's fast moving, so it added story along with its fast moving parts. And that's what you would expect out of an animated movie. And so that is exactly what I wanted. You know what I mean? The movie itself, uh, it went a little bit into lore and it went a little bit into powers, but it also had its way of, introducing humor and introducing a lot of new characters, introducing a lot of new worlds. So I feel like it did a very good job of towing the line of all those things.
Absolutely. You know. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, that we were definitely in agreement with that because, most people they were talking about how like, oh, the movie was moving too fast. It didn't have like this some people even said like it didn't have a story. It's like, no, come on, it's a movie. It has to have a story. So, and like I said, the story, this story was pretty simple. I didn't go, one of my favorite video game series is Xenoblade Chronicles, so I didn't think it was gonna be that level of story. It's something deep cut and gonna be making me feel all emotional. No, I went into this gonna be like, okay, this is gonna be a fun experience to go and kind of have a really chill vibe with and point out some of the Easter eggs and some of the craziness that happens there. So absolutely. So Carrie Mughal, your general impressions on the story?
It's the same. I, it was what I expected because I was thinking to myself, you made mention of individuals that have made mention of story and depth. And when you play a Mario game, you don't really go into it expecting a level of narrative like Dragon Age or Final Fantasy or any other deep narrative game, Xenoblade Chronicles. When you play a Mario game, there's a princess that needs saving, and there you go. The whole idea is you're going to have fun. And so I went to the movie and it met my expectations. Did I feel like it moved a little fast paced? I did. That's just me because I'm a writer and I like development. There's a Bowser and his son. I'm the kind of person I want to see little baby Bowser Jr. and Bowser holding him and telling them the story or whatever, just exposition. That's stuff that I want to see.
Hmm.
But I keep in mind, something that I keep in mind is this: we love Nintendo, but Nintendo doesn't love us; they love money. And so they're a business. At the end of the day, they're a business. They are,
Absolutely.
and I can't even fault them. They're a business. This movie had three priorities. One, it is primarily a children's movie. Primarily, this is a children's movie. Two, we want to cater to longtime fans who love Mario. Three, we want to try to give a little something to people who, Lord knows at this point, I don't know, who doesn't know Mario, but you do want to cater to somebody who you want to cater to the person that's like, who's Mario? I never heard of this guy. It's they do want to they have to cater to those three. So they succeeded with all of them because as Zomba brought out, it's a children's movie. You can't have a 3 hour movie with parents. I can speak from it. Me and Zomba, we'd be like, okay, we got to get out of here. We're done here. We're finished. This is no too long. You have to cater. It's children primarily, and then the second tier, the second priority, they cater to us and they deliver. They delivered. It was like I said, some parts moved a little quick, both when Mario and Luigi turned into little babies. I felt like that part was too quick. It was like bada bing, bada boom. We solved it, but at the same time, it's a lot of things to juggle. So my impressions of the story overall, they did a great job balancing out all three priorities. They did a great job, and I got exactly what I was expecting. I was not expecting to go in there for Oscar worthy performances and oh, I laughed, I cried. It made me. I did soul searching after I left the Mario. I wasn't. It met my expectations, and they succeeded.
Right. And you really touched on some really excellent points, especially about, at the end of the day, Nintendo being, a business. They're into, making that money. And that's why, a lot of people have been saying, like, there's so many movies that's coming out. I want to talk about games, which games are still coming out, but, you know, this is a business strategy where they're making billions of dollars for these movies. So they're going to go where the money's at by the end of the day. But yeah, at the same time with the whole Mario Galaxy movie experience overall, yeah, it was catered to like a younger audience and people who are already well familiar with the Mario Brothers and the Mushroom Kingdom and the Galaxy. And yeah, they did succeed on all those fronts. So yeah, I think you made really excellent points about those as well. And the pacing, being being quick, because yeah, you both are fathers, so yeah, you guys understand the limitations that your children had. It's like, okay. So I could definitely see where you're coming from in that angle. But yeah, that's good that overall, uh, the impressions of the story really, really met our expectations for sure. So now we're going to go into the new characters that they were introduced, and we're going to talk about them individually, starting with Rosalina. So for me, I have one complaint about Rosalina, just one, and it's kind of minor. We didn't get to see enough of her. It was like she was there in the beginning. They had her briefly shown when Bowser Jr. kind of kidnapped her and he kind of told her about the plans that he's going to be doing. And then, of course, towards the end. And, when she met up with all of them at the end, she pretty much fit right on in like a glove. So I would have loved to kind of gotten to know her just a little bit more. I just felt like we just didn't see enough of her. That's like my only complaint. I'm like, I wish we could have got a chance to know her a little bit more. We saw that she's very powerful. She's very, very powerful. Um, and that, she's pretty much mothering all these Lumas who are coming together, and each Luma has her own little personality. And so, it just would have been nice to kind of get to know her just a little bit more. But I like her character. Even the voice actor who played her, Brie Larson, I thought that was an excellent choice. Excellent, excellent, excellent choice. And yeah, just yeah, there's not too much I could say about Rosalina overall. But yeah, that was just my only complaint about it. I'm like, I wish we could have seen her a little bit more. And how about for you, Somber? What did you think of Rosalina?
Um, I see what you mean. I never even thought of that, but I liked her character. I
Yeah.
liked that she was powerful, and I liked that she was central to the plot. I think that her character works better as a mysterious character that you don't see that much.
Okay.
I think that works better for her. Um, because even in Galaxy, you're not spending that much time with her. She's kind of just overwatching everything. So I feel like that kind of fits. I see what you mean, though. I could see that we could use more Rosalina, and it'll probably come. Um, but she was central to the plot. Um, she was very powerful, and I think she was very well written. So, I mean, I don't have any complaints. I like Rosalina just fine, and I think that she worked out pretty good. I think that she fit what her character was meant to do.
That makes sense. Absolutely. Because yeah, when in the Galaxy games, yeah, she's just at the in the first one, she was just like, at the Comet Observatory. And she would let you know like, hey, there's this new galaxy we could check out. Oh, Bowser's over here. So yeah, there wasn't yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, we didn't there's not too much interaction with her during the Galaxy game. So yeah, that actually makes a lot more sense though. And I loved how you said that, you liked her being that mysterious character. I can actually agree on that one for sure. Being this mysterious figure that we don't really know about, but she kind of comes in, and who knows what's in store for her for the next Mario movie when they have it. So absolutely. Anything else you wanted to add about Rosalina?
Um, well, we're gonna get into the lore later,
Yeah.
so I'll go with that later part.
Okay.
But yeah, overall I enjoyed her. I think she
Nice.
fits what she was meant to do.
Okay. Cool. Carrie Moo, how about you?
Yeah, those are some great points. And so that's what, throughout this cast, I hope you guys forgive me. I'm going to be sharing a little bit of my rewrite. With
Okay.
every movie, I do a rewrite in my head.
Okay.
I'll just share like what I would have liked to see, but that's for the lore part.
Okay.
My, I love her as a character that they introduced. Brie Larson, perfect, spot on. And now that I think more about it, I wanted to see more of her. But Zomber, it's a great point that he makes that I would view this as her introduction
Okay.
because
Yeah.
of course, this movie's gonna go on for as long as they can milk it, or this series, So she'll more than likely be back, but I just wanted more of her. But she's an excellent addition. I really appreciated having her in this film. I love her character.
Nice. Absolutely. So yeah, hopefully we'll get to see her again in another Mario movie. So next up is Bowser Jr. And Somber, we gonna let you touch on your firstborn child here, Bowser Jr. What did you think of good old Bowser Jr.?
Um, so as a villain, he was great.
Mm,
Um, everybody has that inner child, so to speak. Like I've read in psychology that you never lose your inner child, right? But he's fully inner child, you know. He's like, I'm going to reach these ideals no matter what's in my way. And he did everything in his power to do that. And he's powerful and he idealized his dad and um obviously he's a child, so he's misguided. So I mean, it's just fitting. They kept him very true to his character. Um, he makes up for Bowser's slack, um, so to speak, whenever he feels like Bowser's not doing what he needs to do as a proper villain. I think that was pretty well done. Um, Obviously, like I said, he's misguided, of course. Um, but I think that he fits he fits that character very well. Very good villain. Uh, very very ambitious. Um, I mean, just I don't have anything bad to say about him. Just as far as him being his character, I think that he fit exactly what you would want from Bowser Jr.
absolutely. Honestly, my impressions of Bowser Jr., I'm like, this was an S rank supervillain. Because not only did he capture a very powerful and capable princess, but he built his own galaxy. The galaxy that him and his father talked about when he was little. He went out there and created it. And the what was that? The Mega Leg monster that he created, that him and Kamek were traveling along with. Oh my gosh. That was an S rank villain in my book. And he had all these weapons. He was doing all these ambitious things to find his dad, and I do really like the relationship that him and Kamek has, because in some of these other Mario games, and especially the Yoshi story games, which we're gonna get into Yoshi a little bit later, but like in the Yoshi games, Bowser Jr. and Kamek, they were like the last boss, or at least the reoccurring bosses in those games, so it was a nice dynamic that those two had. um, but yeah, overall, Bowser Jr., very capable fighter. I mean, he took on three people by himself. I'm like, when they had that first fight in Princess Peach's castle, it felt like a boss battle. It felt like, a straight up boss battle, especially when Bowser Jr. was fighting Yoshi. I'm like, that's a canon fight right there, because those two did fight. They did. And he had the paintbrush, and it still had EGAD's logo on it. So I'm like, are they going to introduce EGAD at some point? Because in Mario's, I think it was Mario Sunshine, he kind of explained where he got that paintbrush from. He said, yeah, a man in a white coat sold it to me, and it was Professor Egad. So I'm wondering if that's a little bit of a taste that maybe we'll get like a Egad or a Luigi's Mansion type of movie in the near future. Who knows? That's just my speculation. But overall, Bowser Jr., to be honest, in the beginning, I was really worried that he was gonna annoy me. I'm like, oh gosh, he's gonna annoy the heck out of me. Oh my goodness. So I had to mentally prepare myself for this, but overall, I loved him as a villain. I loved him as a villain, very capable, ambitious, smart, intelligent, go-getter. I mean, like I said, this was an S-rank villain for me, and overall, I really enjoyed his presence in the movie. I thought he overall made a great villain in the movie. So that was my impressions about Bowser Jr. How about for you, Kerry Mugo? What was your impressions on Bowser Jr.?
I agree. He he was a great supervillain in this movie. I felt like he was a little too dark because Bowser, with Bowser combined with Jack Black being the voice actor. Jack Black, he brings humor and he loosens you up. Even though he's the villain, he's funny. Think about how he was singing Peaches, and in the first movie, we got an equal amount of laughs out of Jack Black. Then, there was some dark moments, but also he gave us some laughs. Hauser Jr. was all about business, and he
Hmm.
surprised me. He was actually the darkest part of the movie because he really didn't have a funny bone in his body. He was out,
Hmm.
and so I'm like, Bowser Jr. is more of a villain than his dad. And like looking at the movie and the film, and he wanted to please his dad, please his father. But I liked his character. I was afraid he was going to annoy me as well, but I would have liked for him to be just a smidge, like lighten up on him just a little bit because
Hmm.
he was really serious, like super serious. I think there was even one part he's like, "Oh man, Dad, you don't want to kill him because I do." It's just like, man, dang, okay, all right. Like even Bowser had to tell him, like, son, don't hold on. So that's my thoughts on Bowser Jr. Just a little bit too dark for the overall tone of the film. But if you're gonna ask me, was he a good main villain for this film? Yeah, he nailed it. He was a villain. That genuinely had me worried at certain parts. Like, wow, he's not stopping at anything.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, that is true. Even Bowser had to be like, "Whoa, whoa, let's calm down a little bit." Yeah, that's right. I didn't even he did say that in the
Hmm.
movie because yeah, Bowser Jr. He was all about business. And yeah, just overall, I did enjoy him as like the main big bad throughout the movies. Like him fighting the Mario Brothers, him fighting Yoshi. I mean, these are fights that took place in the Mario game, so I like how they implemented that. And they had Kamek with him. Well, Bowser was away, and they're trying to find him. Kamek was with him, and yeah, they always travel together. And having their own ventures, trying to stop Mario and Luigi or trying to stop Yoshi from trying to carry out their plans or whatnot. So speaking of Yoshi, that's going to be the next character that we're going to talk about is Yoshi. Oh my goodness. I know this isn't Pink Yoshi of Sombra. I know. That's probably your major complaint is that this wasn't Pink Yoshi. I know. But Yoshi was adorable. Oh my goodness. And when he told that story about his journey in Brooklyn, and I'm like, wait a second, this is big dinosaur here in Brooklyn, and nobody reported it. Like, Mayor Pauline didn't come on the news and be like, we got a walking dinosaur here, you know. But Yoshi, oh my goodness, definitely an great addition to the Mario Brothers for sure. And even though he didn't have many lines, he brought so much joy, so much laughter. um Even when they met him, I'm like, he was just like a little puppy dog. He was just so adorable, and I just love the way that his character was. And even and we talked about this earlier, like even in the fights against Bowser Jr., he stepped up and tried to fight him. And even in the last encounter with Bowser and Bowser Jr. fighting together, I mean, he turned into this big balloon thing, but he was trying to fight him. So it really showed Yoshi's courage too, that even though he's this lovable dinosaur, he will try to fight to protect his, well, I, I don't know if you would call Mario and Luigi like his owners or whatnot, but they're companions or whatnot. But overall, yeah, Yoshi, I enjoyed him throughout the whole entire movie. Him eating people and turning into eggs, especially when he did that to Kamek and the glasses fell out. Um, he they even kept some of his core qualities as a character too, like the flutter jump. He did the flutter jump. Um, did he do a ground pound? I can't remember.
Think so. I
Okay.
don't think he did.
Can't remember.
I could have
Okay.
missed that one, but I don't think he did.
Yeah, because that would have been another signature Yoshi moment there. But of course, him eating villains and turning them into eggs or whatnot. Um, But yeah, Yoshi overall, and I know a lot of people were worried about I mean not Danny, Donald Glover being Yoshi, but I thought he did an excellent job. And actually, that was a universal agreement that he actually did a really good job as Yoshi. And yeah, even though it's just him saying the one line, and they even kept his little noise from back in the what was that, Super Mario World and the Super Mario 64, the little beep burp noise. I was like, oh wow, they kept
Mm-mm.
it. So yeah, that's just what I thought of just Yoshi. He just brought so much joy. So what about you, Somber? What do you think about our good pal Yoshi?
I think Yoshi was the drop of chaos that the party needed. You know, Mario and Luigi are generally trying to be straight laced individuals. So, drop the chaos bucket that is Yoshi, and that's perfect for the party. Uh, um, all the chaos, him eating everybody's snacks at the festival. Him being the outlier with the baby situation. Him being the one to save them, so to speak.
Hmm.
Him be the one to highlight when danger's coming. How fiercely protective he gets of them whenever they're fighting. I think it all just works. Yeah. Of course, the only gripe I have is that he's the wrong color, but that's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. But yeah, so yeah, I liked the little the little deal with Brooklyn, and I was thinking, the reason why people probably wouldn't have reported him in Brooklyn, he's probably not the weirdest person in New York, to be honest. Probably people weirder than that that's working around. It's what I imagine. That's probably why nobody reported him. He probably fit right in. So yeah, I thought that was really interesting. And yeah, like you said, the voice actor was just fine. Even though all he said was Yoshi. Uh, his qualities, his personality. He brought a lot of personality to the party, so to speak. And he brought the energy. He brought the he brought the chaos. It was just fitting, just like Yoshi's supposed to be. He's supposed to be eating everything and making all kinds of mistakes, but then he makes up for them by defending you when it's time for battle. And so that fits. Um, that was just fitting. That's all I can really say about it.
Nice. I will mention that one thing that had me a little bit worried. I was like, I hope they weren't gonna do the meme where Mario's riding Yoshi, and then just so he can get over a cliff, he jumps off of Yoshi, and Yoshi falls to his doom.
Oh yeah, that would have been crazy. Yeah. That would have been something else.
Oh, I thought they
Would have
that
been
they were gonna
nice. Yeah.
include something like that, but they didn't. So, yeah. Carrie Mugo, how about you? What did you think about Yoshi?
He was, he was perfect as well. Not my favorite because we're getting to that individual next, but
Hmm.
he was my biggest worry. So those three priorities. Um, it's a kids movie. You do it for the fans, and then you do it for everyone else, for the mainstream audience that's there. I got really worried because it's Donald Glover. I thought they were going to change things up in the lore because Donald Glover is such a big celebrity. And sometimes things happen behind the scenes where certain celebrities will demand, like, I want my character to do this. So I actually thought they were going to make him talk. And I thought they were going
Yes.
to have him talking. That would have broken the movie. It would have broken it for a lot of us. But they stayed true to who Yoshi is. Donald Glover, one, he did a great job with the voice acting. And then kudos to Nintendo, the producer, director, the writer. He didn't have lines. Yoshi he's a Chewbacca or a Groot character. He doesn't say things, but you get how he feels and you can communicate with this character without him saying words. Chewbacca and the way he would growl, you could tell what he was thinking with interactions with he and Han Solo and Groot and Rocket Raccoon. You can almost feel what Groot is thinking or what he's saying. without him. That's kind of the magic of these characters. So Yoshi was the same. He only says a few things, but he was that safety blanket, and then he wasn't overpowered either. Where Bowser Jr. has a paintbrush and he's whipping, and then all of a sudden his long tongue comes across the screen, and then he pulls it back, and hands. It's like the easy button. Yoshi wasn't the easy button. It's like, oh boy, making him overpowered, because there were some fights Yoshi, he tried his very best, but he got his shell handed to him. He got a hand. He wasn't too powerful. He was just right. And but then it's like those situations that will pop up where someone's about to fall or something, but he was right there. Just like he is in the games. He's not that main character. He's not super powerful, but he is trusty sidekick that's loyal, and he comes in at just the right moments. And so they did that. They did well with Yoshi all the way around.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that was another thing. Yeah, I was like, I thought that they were gonna have Yoshi talk, and I was gonna be like, oh. Yeah, that
Right.
I would have given a side eye if they would have made him talk. But you pointed out to the fact that yeah, you kind of got an idea of how he felt. He didn't say any words except for just Yoshi, but overall, you kind of got how he felt. He's very protective and a very loyal companion. So. Absolutely, and Soccer, you made some great points that he pretty much he was just the chaos plot that the group needed. So absolutely, he brought so much joy, and so I love Yoshi. I'm looking forward to seeing Yoshi in the next Mario movie for sure. And last but not least, the big lore, or not lore, but the big character reveal that Nintendo sent out a week before the movie came out, and I was trying to avoid it. I was trying to, but I couldn't. And that is Fox McCloud. And when we went with our friends that day, I just heard like, people just talking about like, oh my gosh, he's in it. They didn't see it coming. I didn't see it coming. It blew my mind. I was like, what on earth? But yeah, Fox McCloud made it into the Galaxy movie, and I'm like, how's this gonna work? But you know what? They made it work. And I mean, they brought a lot of elements from Star Fox, the game, into this movie as well too. And me personally, I'm not the biggest Star Fox fan. I think in one of our previous podcasts, I think I even had a question like if we had a video game series that we would Thanos snap out of existence, what would it be? And I think I chose Star Fox. I know.
Oh
Sorry,
wow.
sorry for you Star Fox fans. I know. I'm sorry, but overall, Fox McCloud in this movie, gosh, they couldn't make a cooler character than Fox McCloud. Holy smokes. And it was so funny that those Lumas wanted to be like Star Fox. So they formed their own Star Fox team. And we even got to learn a little bit about him and his background too. We didn't get a chance to, see and interact with his crewmates or whatnot, but we kind of got to learn about, where he kind of came from and his interaction with Princess Peach and Toad in the beginning. I was like, that is too cool. And then they turned the Comet Observatory into like a big old R wing, and they're like, do a barrel roll. I was waiting for try a somersault, but
Right.
the barrel roll comment was more than enough. Fox, he was just so cool in this movie. He was just so cool. Um, he had his moments where he acted a little crazy and it was funny. And the conversation, he just fit right on in with the Mushroom Kingdom gang. Like, like, hey, they've been friends for like years. And you know, I'm pretty sure we'll get a chance to see him in a. I mean, I hope we will see him if it's not in a Mario movie. I just hope that even if they do decide to go to the route of a Star Fox movie, that would be awesome. I would definitely go and see it for sure. And then he can go back to Slippy and Peppy in the game, be like, yeah, I met these cool folks in the Mushroom Kingdom. We should go see them sometime. But yeah, and it was just so interesting how they all just kind of came together, kind of hands on all deck, especially when they were going towards Bowser Jr.'s galaxy that he created. Because like I said, Bowser Jr. is the S-ring villain in my book. Holy cow. Um, it was just a very interesting direction that they went with adding Fox McCloud like this. And yeah, you know, he wasn't like the biggest part of the story, but he did play a huge role in it overall in getting him. Do you guys remember what Bowser Jr. named that galaxy? He had a name for it, but I forgot what it was.
I can't think of it right now.
I can't remember. Yeah, I can't
Yeah.
think of it.
Yeah, it was something Galaxy, and but I know that the canon that
Was it
he
like
was,
the Doomsday Galaxy?
it
Was it
might have
something like
been.
that? It was.
That
I
sounds
think it was
about
something
right.
like that. It was something like
Right.
Doomsday Galaxy.
Yeah, he named it and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fox in their travels together, trying to get to that galaxy. Oh man, that was some really cool moments with that. And Somber, what did you think about good old Fox McCloud in this movie?
Oh, so I was like you. I was trying to avoid spoilers, so I didn't hear of any spoilers at all until like the week before the movie, which was a good thing for me.
Yeah.
And then of course I got that spoiled for me because it was all over everything. I mean, you couldn't
Yeah.
go anywhere. You could not go anywhere without finding that out. And so I found out and I was like, hmm. Now I'm a huge Star Fox fan, but I was concerned because I was like, hope they're not just putting them in here just to put them in here. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
just to say we got another character in there. That's what I was hoping. And he he fit the bill to a T. I mean, he fit the movie like he was the perfect puzzle piece for that arc. You know, it was like, oh, we need a pilot, and then it turned out to be Fox. It's like, okay, but then he got his the general pilot arrogance. You know how that works. Of
Hmm.
course, Falco has it worse, but
Yes. Oh, yeah.
but um that was very fitting for his character. He was kind of like in a small sense, he was like Han Solo, to like a Star Wars movie, but
Hmm.
he was his own character. So he gave his backstory. He was a fantastic pilot. He had lots of personality. He had lots of energy. He got along well with the gang. I mean, it was very great. They did his character justice, and that's what I was hoping for. Like I said, I hope they weren't just doing it just to do it, you know. But it's kind of like Donkey Kong in the first movie. It's like, what are we doing here? And it's like, oh, this works. This is gonna work. I'm liking this. This is gonna work. He had a lot of screen time too. He was
Mhm.
in the movie a lot.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, so that was the bigger surprise that he was in the movie. He wasn't just like, "Oh, hey, I'm Fox." No, he was in the movie. He took them to the final destination. He was part of the final battle. He was like at the end, he was like, "Oh, I got my ship fixed, so I'm gonna, try to get back to where I came from, and I'm hoping that works out, and I'm hoping I get a Star Fox movie because the Slippy jokes are gonna be just all day. They're gonna be the greatest. They're gonna be making fun of Slippy so much. It's gonna be great. So, um, yeah, so that was very exciting. I mean, that was just I mean, I was on the edge of my seat the whole time because I'm like, man, they really did Fox justice. They really did. I did not know how they were going to do it, but they really did it, and that was just great for me.
Nice. Yeah, Fox and Cloud. Ooh, even that voice actor, Glenn Powell. Oh, they picked the right cast for him, and because
Oh yeah.
he fit that energy just right. So, what did you think about good old Fox McCloud, Carrie Mughal?
Yeah, he was easily my favorite. Easily my favorite. He was just so cool. I wanted the voice actor, as you mentioned, he was perfect for him. He did really well. Haven't seen him, that actor, in much. I've seen him maybe in a couple of shows, maybe a
Right.
movie or two. But his voice was perfect because I wanted them to swing for the fences, and I actually wanted them to get Brad Pitt or someone just like one of the actors that has the cool in his voice. But no one annoying or anything like that. But the voice actor was perfect, and his character is written really well. He had that roguish charm like a Han Solo. I think even the introduction to him, to them meeting him, was very reminiscent of A New Hope in Star Wars when they're looking for a ship. We need a ship, we need a ship, and then there's this guy, this rogue, Fox is working on a ship, and he's like, hey, I can help you out. But he did. I liked it. I loved his character a lot, and he was like the dessert. It's you gotta have just there's the main entree and you're full, but you got to make room for dessert. But you only need so much of it. You don't want too much of it. So they gave Fox just enough screen time. Like they didn't just lather it on because I think they knew that Fox was going to get the reaction. Where we lost our minds and we started clapping in the theater, even though it had been spoiled for us. We still started clapping and cheering, but they didn't give him. After that point they didn't wear him out and have him just telling tons of one-liners and then just an overextended shot with his ship and showing us how great of a pilot he is. They didn't wear him out. So but he was my favorite. It was a tough one. They introduced a few that were perfect, like I said, but my favorite is Fox. It is. He was great.
Good old Fox McCloud. And
So
I
now we got
really
to get him to play some Star Fox, right?
Mm,
Oh, if he comes out with a new game, because it's getting rumored that ever since the Mario movie came out, that he's gonna have a new game coming out this summer. I'm like, let's not get ahead of ourselves. We don't know. But if he does come out with a new game, I will play it. That's a promise. I'm saying it right here. If I will get the game if we get a new Star Fox game.
That was never an option, right? Just so
Yeah,
you know.
of
You
course.
you was gonna play that Star Fox
Oh,
game. I hope you know
absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. Hey, I'll do it. I'll happily do it. But yeah, Fox in this movie was definitely like Carrie Mughal said, just a dessert that we got in this film. And Somber, like to your point, where he was just in it for a good chunk of the movie, even to like the final destination of the last battle and everything. Yeah. Um, I hope we get a chance to see him if it's not in another Mario movie, at least his own starring role in his own movie. That would be great.
Yep.
So next up, we have some surprising moments. Oh boy, where do we go from here? How many? So I would say probably for me, the surprising moments that I would say for me that I really, really liked the most, it would just have to be the fact that they went the they went the Mario Maker route towards the end with rebuilding Princess Peach's castle.
right.
That was a really nice surprise because it was like Rosalina had her hard hat on, and then they gave it that and even when Princess Peach and Mario were going towards the last area for to confront Bowser, I a lot of people didn't like this, but I loved it. Where they went from the movie look to the old school look. So it's like we kind of got to see like the original Mario and Peach running through the castle together, and then the Mario Maker setting that they had. It was what was that Super Mario World sprites that we saw. I always like when they do that in the Mario movies, and it was just a really pleasant surprise to see that. Another surprise that I really liked to see was Luma Lee at the end, um, with Bowser and Bowser Jr. And she was all like, "Hello, maggots," and it was really nice to see her make a comeback and still being very dark and menacing and depressing with that voice that she has. Oh my goodness. Oh, it was just so funny to see that, and that they're trying to get out of jail, and Luma Lee is making all these bold threats towards them. I'm pretty sure that they're going to get out eventually, and because we'll get into it later about the post credits. But yeah, just the fact of them always bringing in the old school gaming and implementing them into the movies. I always think those are very nice treats that we got to see. Um, as far as like, well, we'll get into Easter eggs later, but yeah, I just wanted just to kind of touch on the surprising moments that I really enjoyed. But yeah, the Mario Maker level at the end, Luma Lee, and the third one will be that when Mario and Peach were working together to confront Bowser, and then they had that fight on the bridge, and they kept it the old school where he had the axes and everything, and he threw them, and they chopped off the bridge, and Bowser came back up as dry. I was like, are we gonna get a dry Bowser? And we sure did. I thought that was awesome. Very well done. And Somber, what were some surprising moments for you?
So, surprising moments. The biggest, well, I won't say the biggest, but a really big surprise for me was the inclusion of Birdo, Mauser, Wart, and Rikiki.
Yes.
That was really surprising. See, I didn't watch any of these previews or anything, so I had no idea they were in the movie. I'm like, what?
Hmm.
That's crazy. I was so enthralled by that. And then so that was one really big surprise because I like that. I like that they're um I like them working that into the story.
And
Um
good voice actor
Another big,
by Ward. I'm sorry. I was saying Ward
absolutely.
was a good choice for the voice actor because I was like he
I
kind of
agree with
looks
that.
like
He really
Ward too.
was.
He's like
Yep, yep. He really was a good voice actor. You're not wrong there at all. Yeah, definitely. So the other surprising part was how many Mario games they incorporated.
hmm
Like they pretty much got every Mario game, like even down to Wonder. They got the Wonder powers in there. They had Super Mario World, they had Mario Brothers 2, they had the original, they had, you know, Galaxy 1 and 2. They had all of them. Odyssey, 64, everything you could think of. That's what they had in there, and that was fantastic. I love that. Um that was a big surprise. How many games they incorporated into there cuz if you're watching it as a Mario fan, you're wondering where we're gonna go next. But here we've that's where we got the galaxy. We've incorporated all of it into the galaxy aspect. So it's very interesting to see how many powers they put into the game. A lot of obscure powers. Like they had the drill from Mario Wonder. Like that's
Yes.
brand new, and
Hmm.
that's yeah, that was just amazing. How that worked out. Uh, the other surprising moment was, I mean, other than the lore we're going to get into later.
Hmm.
Um, I would say I liked I liked how they're handling Peach's and Mario's relationship. Um,
Hmm.
they are, not they're like they're like friends that's growing together. You know what I mean? Um, So it's like you can tell that they're growing as far as trust goes. You can tell that they kind of seeking each other out for comfort or guidance or help as needed. And you can tell that they trust each other. Like that part at the end where they, which was very awesome. That was one of my favorite parts of the movie where they were fighting the Bowser Jr. security system, and they were
Yes.
running through that lava and dodging all the saw blades. You could tell how much trust they had, and they were growing together, and I like that a lot. And even the gift that Mario got her, the parasol, it was like perfect for her. It was just, yeah, I like that part too. That was pretty surprising how well they're, I won't say putting them as a couple, but I'm just saying like
Yeah.
how well they made their dynamic. That was pretty surprising to me because I would think that would just be, you know, a strictly platonic, you're just here to help me, but they're very trusting of each other, and I like that. Like how she put Mario in charge of the kingdom when she was out. That was just great for me. I like that.
Nice. And how about for you, Carrie Mugo? Any surprising moments?
The surprising moment for me was the fact that Bowser was on this whole I'm rehabilitated kick that he had going on for a
Hmm.
bit. I'm a good guy. Come on, and like he was genuinely trying to turn himself around. So it worked and it didn't work for me. Um, it worked because it's good for movie sequels to have it where the protagonist and antagonist they come together for a common cause even for a bit. And so it's surprising to me that they put that mechanic into the movie. I was totally expecting him to, maybe he was evil, but then Bowser Jr. breaks him out and he's like, "Yeah, I knew my family, I knew my son would come get me." But they actually had for a little bit, a portion of the movie, he was on the good kick and even, sacrificed his freedom at one point to in order to help the cause. But it just kind of that's the part where it kind of broke it for me because Bowser, he was like, I'm turning over a new leaf. But then his son came and he's like, "No, Dad, I'm doing all this stuff." And then Bowser just like a light switch. He just like, "Oh yeah, now I'm back to being evil," and so it worked and kind of didn't work, but I can
Hmm.
see why they put that mechanic in it. And the other surprising part for me was like just the whole Dry Bones Bowser. I was
Yeah.
not expecting. He fell in the lava, and Bowser Jr. was like, "Dad, no." And I think you could hear a pin drop in the theater where we were, and
Yes.
because it was like, what, you know. And so it was sort of surprising for us, but that's him coming up as Dry Bones Bowser. It was a pleasant surprise because I'm like, come on, you can't just kill, Bowser. You can't just do that. You can't kill Bowser. But the biggest surprise for me, I would say, was the Bowser turning over a new leaf, trying to be a good guy. Trying that was interesting to me. That was very interesting.
Okay. And the funny thing is that actually in previous Mario games, Bowser did team up with the Mario Brothers on several occasions, and there's even been parts where
Mm,
Bowser says, "I'm not joining your party. It's actually you two are joining my party."
right. And that's kind of like that's the dynamic I would have liked to, he and Mario going back and forth, like, I'm the brains of this operation, or it's,
Yeah,
oh
I
yeah,
get what you're saying on that. Yeah, that would have been
mhm,
cool if they would have done that. And he's like, "No, no, no, I'm not traveling with you guys. You guys are actually traveling with me."
right, exactly, yep.
Yeah, it was yeah, and actually another canon part that actually happened in a Mario game where Bowser kissed Mario, that happened in a Mario game, Super Mario
It did
RPG.
indeed.
It
It did
happened.
indeed.
I thought that was hilarious.
Right.
And and so yeah, yeah, I would say yeah, that would probably be like my I would feel the same way. I actually feel the same way about what you just said, Kerry Mogul. It's like, yeah, when he's back with his son, and at first he was trying to be like, hey, hey, let's not kill him. I got a chance to know him. They're good guys. And then yeah, after a while, he's like, you know what? I'm back to being bad. I will say that was
Yeah, because the
yeah,
queen bee was like, "I need somebody to stay here and be my slave," and Bowser's like, "I'll do it. You guys go ahead. I'll sacrifice my freedom." And even then, I'm like, he's not. He's something is up his sleeve. But he was like genuinely went to go work in the mines, and so that was I was looking at him really skeptically. I was like, he's up to
right.
something, but he genuinely was trying to be a good guy. He really was. So that surprised me because I thought there was something up his sleeve. I'm like, he's doing something. He's gonna pull something out on him. He is, but I don't know. Hey, Bow- Bowser, but even Bowser has layers upon layers that I didn't know of.
Absolutely. And so now we are going to get our favorite galaxy area. And mine will actually just be the main area that they had to go to quite frequently, and that is the Gateway Galaxy. I mean, we saw all of
Mhm.
the different characters there. It's kind of like a giant airport that everybody's trying to get to. We saw the Piantas, we saw those wooded creatures from Odyssey. I mean, even in the early movie where we saw the Tosterinos from Mario Odyssey, all these different races of characters just kind of mingling together in the Gateway Galaxy. And even, oh my gosh, that part with Yukiki, that monkey, when I saw Yukiki, I'm like, I remember you from Mario 64 because I was like, oh, look at this little monkey, and I picked him up and he stole my hat. Oh, so it was so funny that they brought Yukiki into this movie and he stole Toad's it was his backpack, right?
Yeah, it was backpack with all his
Yep, his
Power Ups.
backpack. Yep.
Yep, his backpack. So I'm like, cause he came up to him all innocent, and he looked so adorable, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this reminds me back in Mario 64. I'm like, here's this cute little monkey, and Toad thought the same thing too. And as soon as he got close to him, he yoinked, and he's like, I'm out. But yeah, Gateway Galaxy with the different people that were kind of mingling and having Rob there, and Rob was just funny.
Oh
Um,
yeah, that's a surprise. Yeah, that was a
that
surprise
was
there.
another character they kind of brought in,
Yeah,
and he was
yeah,
just
yeah.
hilarious. And just like in your typical Mario game and movie, everything is done by warp pipe. So he would tell you to go to this warp pipe if you're trying to go here. Um, just overall, Gateway Galaxy was just the one that I always enjoyed watching throughout um the movie. And I will give an honorable mention to the Honeybee Galaxy when they met up with the Queen Bee, voiced by Issa
Hmm.
Rae. I was like, love it, love it. She was
Hmm.
she that was a very fitting role for her, and she played the Honeybee Queen to perfection. I was like, man, I've been recently playing on Super Mario Galaxy 2, and I met up with the Honeybee Queen, and I was like, I could see her actually voicing this character. It is a very solid fit. um, I was hoping that we would see like a B Mario though, but unfortunately they couldn't put
Hmm.
it in. But it's
Hmm.
okay, it's
Yeah.
okay. But yeah, though, Gateway Galaxy for me though is my favorite area. How about you, Somber?
Um, Overall, I'd have to say the Gateway Galaxy because
Mhm.
that's where everything happens.
The main hub, yeah.
Um, it's beautiful.
Yes.
It's got all kinds of stuff going on. It's that's where everybody is. That's where you saw the Pikmin.
Hmm.
I heard that they saw Samus's ship on that
Yeah,
planet.
I
That's
heard
what
that
I
too. I
heard.
hate that I missed
I
it.
didn't remember seeing it, but
It was a
hey,
Yeah.
split second. Yeah, it was a
Yeah, you
split
blink and you
second.
miss it because I
I
missed it.
think that's interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I think the Gateway Galaxy that's going to be the hub for all galaxy related things at this point.
Right.
Even with the little bonus things that they did for the on the Nintendo app. It was all like Gateway Galaxy related.
Yep.
Hey, this is your pass to Gateway Galaxy. Check this out, check that out.
Mhm.
I think that was pretty cool. Um, my well, my honorable mention would be the Bowser's Galaxy that I think it was the Doomsday Galaxy.
Hmm.
That's my
Mhm.
honorable mention because it was everything you would have wanted. It kind of reminded me of 3D World. When you make it to the theme park at
Yes.
the end there. It so reminded me of that because at that point of the game it was kind of nostalgia because at that point of the game you're thinking there's not much left.
Right.
You're like, oh, I'm about to go take Bowser down and we're good. But then you're like, oh wait, no, no, we got to make it through this whole theme park. I see. Okay, I see how that's gonna be. That's interesting. Yeah, that's what really hit home for me. I really like that. It
Yeah,
was
that
great.
is true. Yeah, it is a theme park. What is up with these supervillains liking theme parks? Because we got Bowser, and I'm also thinking about Eggman Land.
Yep.
Something with supervillains and theme parks. I'm like, is there a trend here that we're missing? Are
Or maybe
villains?
that's maybe the people who wrote it, maybe
Right.
that's their childhood trauma.
Oh,
People were scared of theme parks, so they wrote it in as villains. Because there's some people that's like afraid of clowns,
that's
like to the point where they're like
Yeah.
true.
they would
Yeah.
rather die, but Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that. I could see that. I could totally see that.
Yep.
Yeah, and you know what? That is actually another canon theme to the overall Mario universe. That yeah, you have to go through a theme park in order to get to Bowser or his son. Yeah, that is
Yep.
true. And
Hmm.
so, how about you, Terry Mugo? Favorite galaxy area?
It was the last. It was the Doomsday, Gloomsday, whatever
Right.
galaxy, because that last segment was the very embodiment of Galaxy, because they were running to the boss fight, basically the boss area. So they were running on planets, and then you would see a bullet bill going around the circumference of the planet, and it was really quick. It was a really quick segment, but it was extremely well choreographed, because I think they even used some of the little they call loomies.
The Lumas?
They what do you call them again? I'm so sorry.
The Lumas?
Lumas, yes. One of them transformed to boost them to another planet. And so
Yes, the
it
launch star.
reminded me, yeah, it reminded me of a galaxy, basically playing Galaxy,
Hmm.
because it's kind of fast moving. I'm dodging obstacles. Now I jump over, and Illuma shoots me over to this other planet. And so, and they worked their way slowly to, the final boss, the boss area. So that galaxy to me was my favorite, because the spaceport type, Gateway Galaxy, of course, got to mention that. Have to mention that. The
Yeah, I was trying to search the name of it, and I hadn't found it yet.
Yeah, that one galaxy to me, it was like the very embodiment of Mario Galaxy. All of these
Uh,
smaller planets.
What I just found, it said it was called Planet Bowser.
Oh, it was playing Bowser.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay,
Just
okay.
Planet Bowser. Okay.
That sounds
Yeah,
about
but that
right.
area, that was my favorite.
It was the Doomsday Cannon. That's what it was. The
Yes,
cannon
that's
was the
Hmm.
right.
Doomsday
Yeah,
Cannon. So
Doomsday
I guess the
Cannon.
planet was Planet Bowser. I got it now.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah,
yeah.
that was an epic galaxy for sure that they went to in that last area. And and of course we love the Casino Galaxy that they went to as well too, where they met up with at least
Yeah.
Princess Peach and Toad met up with Warden Birdo and all them. But and it was so funny, they still had the same physics from Galaxy where it's like you were walking and it's like, the gravity kind of
Oh,
pulls
yeah.
you
It was like
inward.
mind bending. Yeah.
Yeah, from what I've heard from
Hmm.
the developers of the Galaxy games, they were very impressed with that mechanic, and so that's why they implemented it into the movies as well too. It's like, oh, look what we did, and it really, when you
Hmm.
play Galaxy, it does really transition and flows really nicely as you're
It
exploring the
does.
galaxy, and so yeah, it was just really awesome how they pulled those galaxy areas off for sure. And so the next one I have is how many Easter eggs did you count? Name a couple of them. I'm only gonna go with about three of them. I mean, there's a lot more, obviously, but I'm gonna just do three. So the first one, Somber, you mentioned it earlier, was the Metroid, the Metroid, ship. I don't know what is Samus's ship called. I was like, the
That's a
amount of
good.
Metroid I played, I forgot. I keep forgetting what her ship is called.
Yo, she never calls the ship by name, so that's what.
Yeah, I can't think of it
Oh.
either. I can't think of the ship like having a name.
It's the gunship.
The gunship. Okay, okay. Yeah, her gunship. Yeah, if when Princess Peach and Toad reached that airport area on the deck, it was a split second, but yeah, you do see the Metroid ship taking off. Um and
Mm.
then another Easter egg that I really really appreciated was the letter that Princess Peach wrote to Mario, and how it showed the letter, and it showed her picture, and it's like, dear Mario,
Yeah.
I'm going off to such and such, and then she ended it with yours truly, which actually in the games she actually put or no, in the movie it was I think it was sincerely, but in the games it's yours truly. And so
Yeah.
I thought that was a really neat Easter egg that they put in there, that she wrote this letter and it showed her in the picture, and there's a sky background, because I was like, yeah, that's it. That's it. Both in a Galaxy and a 64, yeah. She writes a letter, and honorable mention to the Pikmin. They always got to put Pikmin in. They just have to. They I I guess they're trying to make Pikmin a thing. I did play the all three installments of the Pikmin. I didn't get into the fourth one, but for me they were just okay. I didn't love them, but I don't hate them either. They're just they're Pikmin. I mean, it's fine. It's whatever. And then the last Easter egg that I would have to say that I really really did like was it was it was Rosalina reading the storybook to the little Lumas and how crazy they were acting.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And I
mm-hmm.
love the little Luma that dressed himself like Donkey Kong. Oh, that was hilarious. That was hilarious because it was like, they hear all these stories about the Mario Brothers and whatnot, and that's the whole thing about Rosalina's storybooks, and it's that with like all these different Mario games that comes out, that's why she comes in and kind of helps them out from time to time, and even when they're doing like the Olympic Games or whatnot, because there are stories written about them, and she want to be a part of them. So that's why it would be interesting to see her kind of be a part of another Mario movie because it's like, okay, she's hearing about these things. So she's like, hey, let me go check it out. And so anytime when there's like a Rosalina storybook that was read in the movies with the little Lumas and whatnot, I always appreciated that because yeah, that's kind of how she gets her information and whatnot. And so her story time with the Lumas was a very nice Easter egg that I definitely always appreciated. And so, Somber, what about you? Any Easter eggs you pointed out?
So I would say that the movie was one big Easter egg.
It was.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
was.
there were so many. Oh my goodness. So I mean, I'll just go with the ones that I was just like beside myself when I saw. And I mean, I want to say all three of them were in the final battle. The ones that just I was like, wow, wow. So the dragon from Odyssey,
Oh, yeah.
I was
Mm.
like, wow,
Yes.
really?
Whoa.
That's amazing.
And
The
Bowser
other
Jr.
one,
created that. Holy cow.
yes, yeah, and it had the music and everything.
It did.
Fantastic, fantastic. The other one, Mr. Game and Watch. I was like,
Yes.
what?
Oh
Like,
Yes.
you gotta be kidding
yeah.
me. That's
Mm-hmm.
amazing. That was amazing. And then the last one was the Red Star.
Yeah,
The
the
Red
Red
Star from
Star.
Galaxy 2, where he just, he basically becomes a superhero at this point. I was
Yes.
like,
Mm-hmm.
yes, 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 all of that. Just because it was all back to back to back to back to back during the
Yeah.
last battle. And I was like, man, this is amazing. I'm not saying that was all of them because there was plenty.
Yeah, there was
I
a
mean, there
lot
was
more.
plenty to
Yeah.
go around, but all three of them, I was like, that was amazing.
Yeah, that last
Amazing.
area and that last fight, it felt like we were watching Smash Brothers because I don't know
Yeah,
if you caught
exactly.
this. I
Yeah.
don't know if you caught this because I guess this is another kind of an Easter egg, but it happened a split second. But during the fight with Mario and Luigi versus Bowser and Bowser Jr., Mario even did the same fighting pose that he does in Smash Brothers, where he'd be waving his arms back and forth like this. I was like, oh snap, they included that. And
Yep.
Oh,
even
I didn't
Game&
see that.
Watch's fighting style was
Yeah.
reminiscent of Smash Brothers. Holy smokes.
That
It was really cool how they pulled that off. I'm sorry for cutting you off. What else would you
no,
like
no,
to
it's
add?
good. That was it. That was the ones, like I said, the whole movie was one big Easter egg because basically Fox was an Easter egg, Yoshi was an Easter egg, Rosalina was an Easter egg, the Lumas were an Easter egg. So
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of just, yeah, it was all over the place. Of course, I was like, wow, when I saw the Pikmin. And yeah, but yeah, those were the three that really stuck out. Especially Mr. Game and Watch, because I'm like, oh, I think that's it. I'm like, oh, okay, that should be it for all the Nintendo characters. They're not gonna pull anybody else out. And yeah, Mr. Game and Watch. I said, hey,
Yep,
it was awesome. It was great.
absolutely. Rob and Mr. Game& Watch. The two characters, the two like early characters. My goodness. How about for you, Carrie Mike? Any Easter eggs you that caught your attention?
Yeah, and they were the ones that, as Zumber said, the movie's one big giant Easter egg, but ones that I didn't see it, but what stands out to me is that it's just wishful thinking, like showing Samus's ship, and
Mm-hmm.
then I didn't see it. I want to watch the movie again just to catch that, or I'll just like pull it up on YouTube or something.
Right.
But something that's near and dear to me is the Pikmin because that was a game that my wife and I played, and we absolutely love Pikmin. My wife loved. She
Oh,
still mentions Pikmin to this day. She's
really?
like, as
Wow.
she loved Pikmin. I think we played both, and I want to say she beat the first one. I can't remember, but she knows Olimar by name,
Oh,
and so
wow.
that was it stood out to me because it was some very touching nostalgia
Okay.
of the time period of me and my wife BC before children, and so we were we would play that game a lot together, and it brought
Mhm.
back some really, almost brought a tear to my eye. Just some times chilling, playing the GameCube and playing Pikmin, and then the throwback with the bridge over the lava was just absolutely
Yes.
superbly. It was just, it was like for everybody who's been with Mario since the beginning, Super Mario Brothers. Here you go. As soon as I saw it, like I think all of us sitting next to each other, we were like, "It's the bridge." It's the bridge. Are they gonna, are they gonna do something where he jumps up? Wait for Bowser to jump up so you run under him or something like that. But that was a great throwback, and it was an Easter egg that just it really made me, it was touching because it was you immediately knew what it was. You said, "Oh, a lot of the little tykes, the little children, they would just view that as an adventure moment. But all of us, we knew what it was. We were saying to ourselves, the bridge with the axe. They gotta destroy. They gotta destroy the bridge with the axe. So those are the ones. Those are the ones that stood out to me. It was wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah, that bridge was definitely iconic because and yeah, they had the three main characters for that bridge, Mario, Peach, and Bowser. When you
Hmm.
play the original games, they were there. They were all there. And yeah, it was just really iconic how they pulled that off for sure. And so the next thing we are going to touch on is the big lore reveal and our impressions of it. And Carrie Mugo, I'm going to give you the honor of telling us what is our big lore reveal that we found out in the movie. Do you know what it was?
That Princess Peach and Rosalina are siblings,
That's correct. That is the
and
biggest lore reveal
that
because,
was
yeah, go
that was
ahead.
nice.
Yeah.
It
You,
was
it
nice.
was always theorized that Rosalina was Peach's daughter from the future. That was
Mm.
the theory that was going around. But according to an article that our good friend Monkey Thunder posted in Discord, is that Miyamoto want to actually carry on this lore into future Mario games. That Princess Peach and Princess Rosalina are actually sisters, and I think that's the storybook that they added in this new Galaxy 2 update is their story together. That they are actually sisters. And so that my mind, it was mind blowing to actually hear that because I'm like, okay, Rosaline is a princess, but I'm like, what is she a princess of? Because I was like, it's not the Mushroom Kingdom. It's not the. I was like, it's the galaxy. I just didn't know. And so it was really, I think it was just really fascinating that now that they're going to carry on that they're actually sisters because when Peach saw that Rosalina was missing and she was desperately trying to find her and get her back, I'm like, do they know each other? Because I was wondering. I was like, do they know each other? I'm thinking like, okay, maybe they were like, yeah, we have tea one day, and and all of a sudden we were gonna go meet at our favorite spot. She just never showed up one day. I thought it was gonna be something like that, but
Mm.
people were always interested into learning Peach's backstory because in the first movie, we saw her that she got into the Mushroom Kingdom as a baby. We don't know how. We don't know if she was from Brooklyn or from Earth or from what. But yeah, come to find out that her and Rosalina are actually siblings. And I think that kind of, opens the door for many possibilities in the future Mario franchises as far as games is concerned. Because Miyamoto wants to keep that lore from here on out. So I thought that was a very fascinating lore to kind of reveal on its own. What did you think about it, Somber?
Um, I was when I figured it out, it was pretty much mind blowing. Um, I thought it would be something like you said, that she'd be her daughter from the future, or some sort of time travel ordeal, or something like that. But finding out that they're sisters, that is very fitting because they're both princesses. Um, that lore. It wasn't just that they were sisters either. Um, it was not that, just that they're made of stardust.
Yes.
They have the
Hmm.
power to basically create together, and that was
Hmm.
pretty interesting. That all of that together was just wow, wow, we're doing that. Okay, I like that. It also makes me wonder about whatever evil there was that she had to send Peach away for. I
Oh
wonder if we're gonna get to see
yeah.
that.
Hmm.
That was
Right.
the reason why she sent Peach away, because there was some foreboding evil out there that was coming after that power. So I'm curious as to what that's about too. So that whole lore was actually pretty interesting to me. Yeah, I found that very fascinating. Um, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What did you think about the big lore reveal, Kerry Mughal?
I predicted it from the start. I knew that they were connected. I work weird like that during movies. Like I love to write and I love to script. And so I put myself in the writer's shoes and I'm like, okay, what are you gonna do with these two characters? They have to be connected. It can't just be like, oh, we just happen to be good friends. But I thought it was great because and then that little bit of backstory, it was fitting and I liked and then, Rosalina had the older sister vibes. So
Mm.
she had already fit. She fit in that role before it was even revealed. I was like, she's the whatever she is. She's the eldest of the two, and I appreciate that they kept it simple. They
Hmm.
didn't do anything too time loopy type stuff. Like teach this as your daughter, and because you can't throw something out there that has the little kids in the theater scratching their head like
Yeah.
what you know so they toned it down because that's what Mr. Queen was sitting next to me, and he was like, "The theory is, it's a mother and daughter type relationship." But I liked the adjustment they made,
Hmm.
and it actually makes me excited to see the next movie and future games hold
Hmm.
because I want them. If Peach has this ability, like Zomber said, that was kind of I didn't predict that part. Like together we created things. I didn't predict that part of it. So that's it was a little bit of a wish list item for me, but in future games upcoming, let's say if there's a Princess Peach, what is it? Well, Showtime,
Oh,
Showtime.
Showtime, yeah.
Yeah. So say if there's a sequel to Showtime, do they weave this in? Is her sister going to
Mm.
be with her? Is she going to have some of these powers? So, but that the lore reveal was very pleasing. It was great. It was perfect.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do in the future Mario series because, you know, even though we don't have one yet, there is a 3D Mario coming out. There is, you know. Um, that's probably why they wanted to kind of get the movie out of the way and incorporated the lore in, so that way when we get the Mario game and it's probably gonna be in there that Rosalina and Peach's sisters, we're gonna be like, wait, where did that come from? If we didn't have the Mario Galaxy movie. So now that we've seen the movie, we'll probably get a Mario 3D game. We don't know when. People are trying to predict and trying to find a leak to get this information out. But of course, we don't look at leaks or whatnot. But now that this has been established, the next 3D Mario game is probably going to have some elements of them being sisters, and that together they can kind of create, whatever type of galaxy or whatever it is that they want. So we'll finally get a chance to kind of understand it. It's like, oh yeah, we saw that in the movie, so it's cool how, and they probably have something really cool that they're going to put in the game. So I'm looking forward to it. So now we are moving. We're almost there. We're gonna talk about the post credit, our thoughts on the post credits. We had two, and I brought one of them up earlier about Luma Lee and the Bowser Jr. But the other post credit character that they introduced, Somber, who was that character they introduced at the end?
That would be Daisy.
Princess Daisy. And I kind of had a feeling that they were gonna put her in because Luigi, he was, egging on Mario about, getting with Princess Peach or whatnot. And he's like, hey, if you get in with Princess Peach, who knows? Maybe she has a friend. And I'm like, are they gonna bring Daisy in? And sure enough, and our good buddy, Prolific Pops, he was sitting, not directly next to me, but another seat away from me. I wanted to see his reaction because he's a huge Princess Daisy fan, and he loved it. He was so hyped. He's like, "Yes, she's here!" So we'll finally get a chance to see Luigi's love interest in the next Mario movie. So I'm just wondering, starting with you, Somber, what do you think could happen now that Princess Daisy is going to be in the next Mario movie? What do you think they're going to do with her?
So I've been debating on this in my head recently.
Yeah.
Um, I I'm gonna tell you what I want to see.
Yeah, go
Right?
ahead.
What I want to see is something like something kind of lore entrenching, almost like the Kingdom Hearts movie where they have all these princesses and they need them to power something, and
Oh,
they gotta go,
Yep.
they gotta go figure that out, something like that. Um, that's what I want to see.
okay.
I'll take whatever they do, but that's
Right.
just something that I want to see. Um, I'm curious as to what they will do with Daisy. Because it's like where you been all this time, basically.
Exactly.
There's that question, and then it's like, is she, like what if there's an election, for instance, right?
Mhm.
And she's gonna try to take over the Mushroom Kingdom or something like that. That would be
Mm.
that would be interesting, right?
Uh-huh.
Something like that. Uh, because usually new characters come in with a bang,
Yeah.
and that would be all of those things. However they do it is fine, but this is something that's interesting to me. That's something that I'd want to see.
Okay, yeah, I didn't even think about how they could have like a Kingdom Hearts thing where you get in order to unlock or the key to beat defeating this great evil because you mentioned that the great evil that Rosalina sent Princess Peach away from maybe it comes and now you need these princesses to kind of come together and
Exactly.
be all these hands on deck. One person that I'm thinking about is not gonna like that, but whatever, I don't care. Anyways,
Yeah, this
I
is us here. We don't care about
yeah,
that.
and so but yeah, we saw that Princess Daisy, even though it was for a brief moment, she's very capable. I mean, she beat up Yukiki. And so we see that she's very, very capable. I'm pretty sure she's gonna be like that very like strong, independent woman. A little bit like Princess Peach, or they might do it like this. Because I remember we kind of talked about this at an anime convention that you, me, and Prolific possibly went to. It's like when it comes to like, I mean, this is Mario, but when it comes to like certain like anime girls, you have one that's fire and there's one that's ice. So it's like, now that we have Daisy here, is it gonna be like, Princess Peach is the fire and Daisy's the ice? Because she might just be just a cool, suave character. We see, or it could be the other way around. Maybe she's the fire and Princess Peach is the ice, because Daisy has always been portrayed as like a party girl. I mean, we haven't seen the recent installment that she's been in the Mario mainline game is actually Mario Wonder, but usually she's usually a side character that's at the Mario Tennis, the Mario parties, the Olympic Games, the Mario Karts. She's that party girl. So I'm wondering how they're going to develop her character in these future Mario movies. I thought that, that's going to be something exciting, because there is a game that the only game that she was like in like another Mario mainland game was the one she was introduced, and that was Mario. I think it was like on the Game Boy Color. She's like the princess of Sarasa
Mm.
Land, I think that's what it's called. And it's a desert area, so that's why she's a little darker than most Mario characters, because she lives in a desert. So, her coming to the Gateway Galaxy, it's like, yeah, where she's been all this time. Where is she going? Is she, is she gonna go to the Mushroom Kingdom and hold an election at the Mushroom Kingdom? There's all these possibilities, but I thought it was a great introduction that we are looking forward to in the next Mario movie. That we finally, I know fans have been asking for Princess Daisy, and she's here. So Prolific Pops can finally breathe now that she's gonna be in the next Mario movie. So, what is your thoughts on the post credits, Carrie Mughal?
I love them, and you just answered my question because she seemed darker and she had a tan,
Mm-hmm.
and then you also answered my question. I was wondering when was she introduced and where was she from? Because myself and others, after that end credit scene, it just immediately Southern twang, Southern girl, rootin' tootin' cowgirl vibe is what I'm getting from her. And
Mm-hmm.
so, future movie, she's almost like a blank canvas. And so, you know the girl from Toy Story, Woody's girlfriend, the
Oh,
little
Jesse.
cowgirl. Yeah, it's like that's almost how I feel about Daisy. And so she's gonna be the fire, and what you were saying, mute. She's gonna be the feisty. Let's go get them. Jump right in there. Peach is more, the cool, calm, and collected. But it does. I may be going, thinking a little bit too much into this. But
Go ahead.
are there more princesses that are related? So that's my big question. Like, is she also related or part of the family, or was like Zomber said, is do we need to get all of the princesses together in order to because that that evil force or whatever it was that's goblin of galaxies or that was just impending doom,
Mm-hmm.
is it going to lead to a finale where more princesses have to get involved? But yeah, she was a great reveal. I actually, so my prediction was, did they show Paulina in the first one?
Yeah, they did.
The first one.
Yeah.
I was wondering if it was something that it was going to have to do with Paulina, some type of, and then I can't remember who else I was thinking about, but I knew it was going to be another princess, so to speak. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't expecting Daisy, so that was good. And yes, I wanted to look at Prolific Pops, and I wish there could have been a Prolific Pops camera.
Oh man, that was
She was
great.
great.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh man, although Pauline's not a princess, it would be awesome if she can be in another Mario movie though. Oh, it would be so good.
Right,
She
right.
could.
It's like I was like, are they gonna? But I couldn't remember. Now that I think about it, she wasn't the first one, so yeah, she wouldn't have been the big reveal.
Her singing can probably buff whatever they're doing. Her singing,
Hmm.
can kind of carry a tune to kind of buff the party to do what they need to.
I wanted them to keep rolling with the hype. The new Donkey Kong game. The latest
Yes,
game was,
Bonanza.
keep it rolling, keep Bonanza rolling. And so I was wondering if they were gonna like Donkey Kong and Paulina pop out on one of the end credit scenes. It's like, man, we need help. We gotta, we gotta get going. But Daisy's a great addition.
Absolutely. So yeah, there's so many things that they can do with her character. And so, like I said, I was like, when they do the next Mario movie, I want to be right there again, right next to Prolific Pops to see his reaction throughout seeing Daisy throughout the whole movie. Because I'm pretty sure that they're probably gonna have some heart to heart moments between Luigi and Princess Daisy because that's supposed to be Luigi's love interest too, is Princess Daisy. Um,
That's new to me. I had no idea about that. That's going to be an interesting dynamic, and basically watching Luigi stumble all over his words to try to get a girl. So that'll be cool.
exactly. Yeah, now Mario can pay him back for messing with him. Oh boy. So, the last thing we're gonna just talk about is just review of the movie out of 10, and we'll start with you, Summer. What would you give this movie?
I never like to do scores out of 10, but for me personally, I'm gonna go with a 9.
Alrighty, very nice. How about you, Carrie Mughal?
I'm going. Sorry, folks at home. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I'm gonna give it an IGN 7. No, I was joking. I was kidding. No, I'm sorry. That's so terrible. IGN, don't come after us, please. No. Um, no, I'm gonna give it an 8 because the reason why I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 is because I would like for them to have had more confidence. As we said, an hour and a half is about all that parents and little children can take. But I am a strong believer that if your writing and your pacing is correct, you can have a child sit there for 2 hours. I would have liked to get 30 more minutes of more explanation. And then also the rewrite that I had in my mind, Rosalina and Peach work together. And
Mm,
then someone else reveals to them, you guys are siblings. And
mm,
so, and maybe the Lumas are Rosalina's like, I have to save my children. The Lumas are the source of power for the Doomsday Canon. But I would have loved to see Rosalina and Peach actually working together and just showing more of their relationship. And then also, just to tell you the truth, just more Bowser being Bowser. I actually missed that. I don't feel like I got enough Jack Black and his Bowser. Um, a heavy focus, understandably so, was on Bowser Jr. But Jack Black, Jack Black is just a magical guy. You
mm.
can put him in just about any movie and he brings it to life. I missed him. I missed, the first movie had Peaches, the song, and it's like these little pieces of Jack Black personality weaved in with Bowser made the first movie really magical for me.
Hmm.
So those are just, just the pacing was a little bit too quick. I felt that they could have slowed it down. And I feel confident that they could have made a movie that clocks in around 120 minutes
Hmm.
that could have kept children engaged. Just slow it down and might let us chew on these scenes a little bit more. And so that's the only reason, I would give it an 8 out of 10 because it's still great. It's a great movie. I can't wait to watch it again, but I, I wanted more of it. We keep making analogies. It's almost like they gave me this awesome plate but pulled it away from me before I was really finished chewing on it. It ended sooner than when I wanted it to.
I like that. I actually really, really, really like that. You really pointed out some good points. You didn't say like this is just hot garbage. They just need to scrape it and put it in the dumpster and
Oh
never see the light of
no.
day.
Yeah, some of these people.
Some
Yeah,
people said that about
no.
this movie, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you didn't go that route. I thought the points that you stated there, now that I'm thinking about it, I was like, yeah, it would have been nice to see that because that's why we have these discussions, these podcasts is not to change each other's mind, but to understand one another. And that's why I always appreciate, having these discussions with you guys, because now I can understand where you guys are coming from. I was like, you know what, that's actually a good idea. We're not, there are some things that we do kind of like, that it's like, yeah, it would have been nice to see more of this, or, and it's okay to say, oh, I didn't like it when they didn't do that. Nothing wrong with that. And I think that, the way that you brought out all those points, Kerry Mugo, was that it was actually really good. And it got me thinking, like, oh, yeah, they could have done that. And so that's what I really appreciate and value you guys' opinion over anybody else. I mean, I'll come and seek you guys out for whatever you guys think about a movie or a game before I trust any internet stranger with whatever their opinions are. And it's just and you bring out to light the certain things, and like you said, in your spare time you like to kind of rewrite the movie in your own mind, and I love hearing them. I really do, because it's like, oh yeah, that could be very fitting. So all that you said right there, you still gave it a great score. You even have plans of rewatching it, different things like that. So yeah, it's just, for me overall, I've been a Mario fan pretty much my entire life. And you know, going into this movie, I wasn't expecting like a huge dramatization or anything like that, so I kind of knew what to expect. So that's why I give it about a 9.5, because for me, watching this movie, and I explained it earlier, is that it felt like I was playing a video game, and that's what I got out of Mario Galaxy, because it's like, you have all these Easter eggs. They took a lot of ideas and concepts from different Mario games and implemented it into this movie too. And that's why I likened it to like a fun roller coaster ride, because even though the pacing was a little bit faster than what we have liked, you know, going through like different Mario levels. What are you doing? You're just running. You're trying to there's a timer, and you're going through the stages, taking out enemies, and fighting bosses, and because you're on a little bit of a time limit. So they kind of went a little bit with that direction, but trust me, I get what you're saying, because like I said, I would have loved to learn about Rosalina a little bit more, and I thought that was a great idea that you had, Carrie Mughal, about how we would have liked to see them work together. Peach and Rosalina work together, and then somebody else revealing to them, "Oh yeah, you guys are sisters." I was like, that actually would have been nice. I didn't even think
Mm.
about that. It was but overall, I thought this movie was excellent. I like the fact that the Mario brothers and Yoshi were together in one part of the movie, and then Princess Peach and Toad had their own separate adventures in another part of the movie. And so it was cool to see how these characters kind of interacted with each other throughout the entire adventures, going to these different galaxies, fighting these different enemies, all the Easter eggs, introducing Fox McCloud into the Mario universe. It all meshed well together. So yeah, for me, it's just a 9.5 out of 10 for me. So that's going to conclude it, unless if you guys have any other thoughts that you would like to share. Somber, Carrie Mughal, any other final thoughts?
Um, the only thought that I had is the only thing I missed was Metal Mario. That's it.
Yes. Oh my God, that would
That's
have been so
all I would have wanted
cool.
to see. But that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll take it. As long as I see it eventually, it's fine. That's just the only thing I missed.
Yeah, bring that music and remix it. Oh,
Yep,
it would be beautiful.
exactly.
Oh,
Exactly.
that would be
Mm-hmm.
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Any final
That's it.
thoughts? Oh, I'm sorry. Any final thoughts, Carrie Muller?
Yeah. Nintendo, they're doing a great job, and they have, oh goodness, I mean, they have endless amounts of potential, and so I can't wait for our spoiler cast for the Zelda movie, because I'm on pins and needles, man.
Oh my God.
But I just overall, I want Nintendo to succeed in the movie space.
I do too.
They have had movie material for years now, and it's exciting to see Mario stepping in on the scene. There's so much potential. It's just so much potential, and so I can't wait. I can't wait for the sequel to the next Mario movie. I hope it's Mario World. I would say more along the lines of World, but hey, they're doing really well with it, and I can't wait to see what else Nintendo has in store in the Nintendo movie universe, if that's what it's called. I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely. They're gonna be pumping out these movies. Yeah, the Zelda movie. Ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, yeah. We may need like 5 hours on that spoiler cast because that's gonna be a lot to chew on. A lot of expectations. That's got to be a
Yeah.
terrifying movie to make, scary
Oh.
movie to make.
Absolutely.
And I'm wondering, I'm wondering if this is why they included Fox McCloud in the Mario movie because here it is. Because from what I'm hearing is that that this is a separate team doing the Zelda movie. So I'm
Hmm.
wondering the reason why they included Fox McCloud in this movie with Illumination is so that nobody else takes any other Nintendo IP character. They're like, oh no, Fox is with Illumination. You can't touch him.
Mm, I can see that.
Cause,
I can
cause
see that.
Cause yeah, it's like it's one of those situations where they probably had an idea where they were gonna put Link and Zelda in a Mario movie, but since they're making a live action movie, they're like, oh, Illumination's like, oh, hold up, we can't have this again. Let's put Fox in this movie. Let's put Samus's
Right.
ship in the movie, so that way it's
Hmm.
on Illumination's property. It's on their IP.
Yep. I can totally see that.
They'll do funny stuff like that. So that's just my thinking. Who knows? But yeah, that was our spoiler cast for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I want to thank you both, Carrie Mugo and Somber, for joining me. Thank you guys so much. You guys have definitely enlightened and opened my eyes to certain aspects of the movie that I didn't realize it. So thank you guys so much. That's going to be the end of our spoiler cast. If there's anything that you, the viewers, would like to share your thoughts about the Mario Galaxy movie, make sure to leave it in the comment section. We would love to hear about it. We've had a whole discussion about it on Discord about people really enjoying the movies and they even had like their own theories that they shared with us. So if you want to join our wonderful family friendly non-toxic Discord server, I will link that in the description below. So that's going to end it for this spoiler cast. So we're going to have another spoiler cast in the near future where we are going to be talking about Final Fantasy Remake. So stick around for that. That's going to be our next
Hmm.
one. So on that note, we're going to clock out here and we'll see you guys next time. Later.
All right. See you guys. Take care.